Welcome back, Storm fans. I am Bryant Cook, and today we're playing Arcane Twiddle Storm with actual lands in it. If you watch this channel, you may have seen a few videos where we had landless Twiddle Storm or one land Twiddle Storm, where you have a single copy of Lotus Field and then you play the modal cards. We're playing a more classic build of the deck today with actual lands in it. 4 copies of Lotus Field over here. They're sort of the pride and joy of this deck. How they work is that you put this land onto the battlefield and then you untap it with Dreamscript or Twiddle to generate mana. They essentially become blue copies of Dark Ritual and Modern at this point. And from there you use arcane spells such as Ideas Unbound, Reach Through Mists, and Peer Through Depths to create card advantage, along with splicing Psychic Puppetry onto those cards. So you get a built-in Twiddle effect. So Lotus Field is really your ritual for this deck. Well, why would I want to return to playing real lands instead of the one land Lotus Field build? Honestly, it's just something I want to try out. Whenever I upload a video, a lot of people ask me, do you think this is better than X, Y, or Z? And the real answer is I just like to play different things and try to see if anything's got new tools. It's not really about being better than one deck or another. So I recorded a video last week where I played Lotus Breach with 5 colors featuring Sylvan Scrying. And one thing I liked about that video was that Boseiju and Otawara are nice tutor targets for Sylvan Scrying. They give you some flexibility. And I want to try it in a more classic shell today just to see how that pans out. Did the classic Arcane build get any better? You don't have to play garbage cards like Repeal in your deck anymore, that sort of thing. So we are playing this. We've also gotten some other upgrades by playing green. You get to play Veil of Summer. So with Sylvan Scrying, instead of Wishclaw Talisman, you get Veil of Summer and you get Boseiju, which are both pretty huge upgrades. Another reason I'm really interested in playing this deck right now is Blood Moon has never been more popular than ever in Modern. So you get to run a basic forest alongside your Boseiju, 3 basic islands, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. So we have something like Lonely Sandbar to get with the Sylvan Scrying as well in case you need to cycle. Ideally, you're never in this position, but 1 Lonely Sandbar over a fetch is a pretty low cost. So we are playing a single copy of Lonely Sandbar today. Considers a pretty big upgrade since the last time that I've played this build of the deck. We can mill Past in Flames and keep going. I'm definitely interested in that. 3 copies of Past in Flames, not Underworld Breach, because you can grab Past in Flames off of Peer Through Depths. You have to build your deck with synergy in mind, which is what we're doing today. And eventually you cast a lethal Grapeshot and win. That's sort of the idea. It's a deck, and one of the reasons you would play this over a deck like Giftstorm is you don't lose to creature removal, and you don't have to use the graveyard. While we do have 3 copies of Past in Flames, it's entirely possible for you to just cast 20 spells and win without ever even needing this. Or you cast it, your opponent plays their Endurance, and then you keep on casting spells and flash it back later. That is another option here. Where with Giftstorm, that's never really an option because your rituals are so terrible. And it's just not a thing for the Arcane builds. In the sideboard, we do have Leyline of Sanctity to go with our Veil of Summers for those pesky black decks. It also stops things like Necromentia from happening. Speaking of Necromentia, we have Ave Progenitor Ooze in the sideboard. Helps us beat Graveyard Hate, but it also doubles as a secondary win condition. Force of Vigor primarily for Blood Moon decks. You could say the same thing about Echoing Truth. Suspend is just a very cheap and efficient removal spell. I think if you were going to cut a card from the board, it should be Suspend, and then Weather the Storm for Burn. I thought about playing 4 Weather and no Suspend, but you have this choice in the Burn matchup. Like, do you board in Weathers? And I think the answer is yes, but if you board in 4, you're pretty much committing to winning with the Eidolon on the board and just using Weathers to make sure that the Eidolon never kills you. Or sometimes it might just be easier to remove it with something like Suspend. So I'm trying this today. This would be the flex spot in the sideboard in my opinion. Is there anything else that I feel like I need to cover here? I do have something to say. So this video is sponsored by Eminence Gaming. They're hosting Silicon Dynasty in San Jose, California from January 14th to the 15th. It's a CEDH 4K where first place gets $1,000. Go to eminence.events to sign up today. Once again, that's eminence.events. You can sign up to play a CDH 4K, and thank you to Eminence Gaming for sponsoring this video. I really do appreciate it. Another thing to say is that in the month of December, no matter what tier level you are, if you support this channel, and you can go to youtube.com/theepicstorm/join, or you can just click that join button down below. If you join our channel, no matter what tier level you are, you get access to videos early. So you could be the $50 tier or the $5 tier. You get to watch all of our videos early. It's a thank you from me to you for the growth that we've had over the last year. We've literally doubled in channel size over the last year, and that's just remarkable. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We are playing the Arcane Twiddle Storm deck in Modern. We're on the draw. I have a Sylvan Scrying for the Lotus Field. We'd have to hit find land number 2 to make that happen. I think I'm going to keep this. I mean, it's not an amazing hand, but I do think it's within the wheelhouse of acceptable. Bloodstained Mire. Basic Mountain. It looks like Burn. Maybe not Burn. Ragavan. Take a draw. Well, we don't need the Sylvan Scrying anymore. Okay. Ragavan connects. We go to 18. They did Peer Through Depths. Graven Karens. Okay. So they're the red-black mid-range deck. They cast the Peer Through Depths. They did not find a card. You love to see it. Now, I would love to see a second land, so we're going to fetch with this Flooded Screen. I'm going to grab a basic in case of Blood Moon. Play the Reach. We drew a Twiddle. Untap. Take a draw. Ah, that's unfortunate. I have to discard the Sylvan Scrying. Urborg. 3 mana. Skelemental. Yep. We'll be taking... I guess I could have twiddled this. That was a mistake on my part. Damn it. Ah, that was so bad. That was so bad. Discard a pair of twiddles. I mean, I could have just saved 6 damage and 2 cards here. Ah, jeez. If I just didn't think a split second longer. I was so focused on missing that second land drop. Okay. Awkward. 3 mana again. Another Lightning Skelemental. We will tap it this time. Tap the Skelemental. Ragavan connects. I go to 7. They get my top card. Another Dream's Grip. Paraxa, welcome to the party. Discard Grapeshot. Take a draw. Who needs lands? Pass. Ragavan gets in once again. We go to 5. They have 4 cards in hand. They hit Otawara. I'm at 2. And that's the game. Okay, so we wouldn't have drawn this breeding pool. It would have been exiled to the Ragavan. So my draw step would have been the Puppetry. I mean, I could have stopped the Skelemental there, but I don't know how much that actually mattered. I am interested in the Leyline of Sanctities as well as the Veils. We definitely want both of those. I'm also interested in boarding down on Past in Flames and bringing in Ave to beat all of their graveyard hate. It is a deck that tends to play a lot of graveyard hate. I also think I want some number of Echoing Truths. A lot of cards. So we're at 66 right now. You definitely board out 1 copy of Psychic Puppetry. And then I think like you just board out 4 Consider. Especially when you're boarding down on Past in Flames. I'm going to try 1 less Sylvan Scrying. Game 2, on the play. Well, we have lands this time. I think I'm going to keep this. I know that it's a little bit odd having 2 Lotus Fields, but how often is your 6-card hand actually better than this? Play the Breeding Pool, pass. Den of the Bugbear. Ragavan, lovely. Peer through depths, we'll pass. Ragavan connects. And I'm just looking to cycle this Veil of Summer at the first opportunity that I have. Reach through mists. Maybe I should have played out the Misty, so that way I could fetch up the basic forest. They choose not to cast the Reach. What's Peer? Love the Ideas Unbound. I can filter this Lotus Field, the second Lotus Field, into something useful. Let's play Ideas. A lot of lands in there, geez. Play the Misty, and we'll pass. Discard, we'll get rid of one Lotus Field. Definitely the Scalding Tarn. And I think the Otawara. Ragavan connects, we'll go to 16. Ideas Unbound. It's a good one. Damping Sphere. It's annoying. Yep. Fetch with the Misty. Grab the Forest, I guess. No need to play out this Lotus Field at this point. Play the Delta and we'll pass. They play land 4. They're going to attack with Ragavan again. I'll go to 13. They still have 5 cards in hand. They hit another Ideas Unbound. Yikes. What are you doing? 6 mana. Chandra Awakened Inferno. Wow. Yeah. I gained a Chandra emblem. That is not something I saw happening in this video. Go grab another breeding pool, I guess. I take one from the Chandra. Take a draw. Another Dream's Grip. Ay, ay, ay. Just passed the turn. I gain another Chandra emblem. Den of the Bugbear. I guess we should probably tap their creature. I don't know if it's actually better or not to tap the Ragavan. Also, I have not been able to cycle this Veil of Summer at all yet. In hindsight, I would have been better off keeping a land over this Veil. And they hit the 4th Ideas Unbound. That's 3 Ideas Unbound they exiled with Ragavan this game. Insane. Oh, that's frustrating. And now I'm going to take 2 off the Chandra. I'm going to go to 7. Just drew straight blanks. So I'm going to go to 1 in my upkeep, I believe. Not 1. Oh, okay. So I'm going to go to 2. They hit Psychic Puppetry. Hey, they played a spell for me to cycle. Love it. Definitely needed to find Lotus Field 3. Thank you. And now on their end step, we should bounce the Damping Sphere and pray. Although I don't even know what we're praying for. I think it's like the Singleton. Oh no, the Singleton Past in Flames. Although that's not even that good. Because these Twiddles don't go to the graveyard. But it would give me a draw 3 off the Ideas. And all 3 of my other Ideas are in exile due to this Ragavan. That was a miserable match. Well, not a good start to the video. We are 0-1. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the draw. Here we have 1 land, double Lotus Field, double Sylvan Scrying. You just can't keep this. Better. Keep in, we'll get rid of a Twiddle. Mutavault. Vile. If I had to guess, this is probably Merfolk, which would be a terrible matchup. That was a decent draw. Play the Lonely Sandbar, pass the turn. Aether Vial will go up to 1 counter. They play a Forest, so not Merfolk. What do I know? What do I know? Merfolk Branchwalker. Sure thing. I'm a fool. I guess we'll fetch out the basic... do I want the basic Forest? Does that actually hurt me next turn? So I'd float blue off the Sandbar. Play the Lotus Field. It probably doesn't matter. Sylvan Scrying. Grab the Lotus Field, and we'll pass. Aetherfile moves up to 2 counters. They play the Waterlogged Grove into Marrow Regery. Okay. So we'll take 3 here. We have to worry about the Hexcatcher off of Aetherfile, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that with this deck. I mean, if I drew Veil of Summer, it'd be nice, but there's no guarantees. We'll play the Lotus Field. Sacrifice our lands. And I will attempt to untap my Lotus Field. That for 3 blue. Peer through depths, splicing Psychic Puppetry to untap the Lotus Field. 1 blue in pool. So if they had the Hexcatcher, they would have to sacrifice 2 creatures to counterspell this. We'll take the Dream Script. Put those on the bottom. Yes, I would like to untap Lotus Field. Let's untap the field. 3 blue. And we'll cast Peer Through Depth, splicing the Puppetry again. Would love an Ideas Unbound. And then we'll put Ideas on the bottom. I mean, I don't know if we'll end up shuffling our deck or even going through our deck, but it can't hurt, right? Cast another Ideas. Splice. 3 blue floating. Okay, we hit another Peer Through Depths. Let's cast it. Cast the Peer, that is. I just want to take this Ideas Unbound. So that means that Grapeshot's on the bottom of our deck, though. And our opponent just had enough. Okay, so we got our first game win. That's good. In a miserable matchup. Big fan of that. Do I even change how we're boarded? I don't think so. I'm going to just resubmit here. Unfortunately, this hand is not a keep. Mulligan. This is fine. Get rid of the Lonely Sandbar. We might want to cycle that later. Misty Rainforest, and they're passing the turn. Play an island, pass. They use their Misty. For a breeding pool. I prefer mine. They play basic island into another Merfolk Branchwalker, revealing Spell Pierce. Okay. Well, we should probably try to resolve this Sylvan Scrying now. Go get our Lotus Field, and we'll pass the turn. The opponent plays a 3rd island. They go to combat. We take 3 going to 17. And they pass the turn. Reach through Mists. I'll cast that. If you want to Spell Pierce this, have at it. They wisely declined. Play our Lotus Field. We're a Psychic Puppetry away at this point. They played the Hexcatcher. A little disappointing. Master of the Pearl Trident. And now they're getting in for 7. So I'm going to 10. They're representing lethal possibly next turn. We might be forced to go for it here. Let's start with a Twiddle on Lotus Field. See what they do. Force a negation. I'll admit, I wasn't expecting that. And they removed a Hexcatcher, so they have Spell Pierce and 1 unknown card. I'll cast a Reach Through Mists. And another Reach Through Mists. Oh, I just realized. They have 10 damage on board. I thought that they had 9. No, they just actually have lethal. Okay, I would have sequenced this turn differently had I realized. So this is my own fault. I should have let on Breeding Pool. I thought that if I didn't, there would be a chance that they didn't have a creature. So, once again, second punt of the day. No big deal. I'm terrible at Magic. But what I should have done was play out Breeding Pool, pay the 2 life going down to 8, and then have Veil of Summer as an option. I didn't see that because when I was like glancing at their creatures, in my head I counted 9 the first time. So I was like, well, even if I pass the turn, I could go to 1 and try again next turn. Not the case. So some poor play there. I'm just going to focus on winning game number 3. Hopefully that doesn't become a trend for this video. All right, we're on the play. I'll try this. Our opponent mulligans to 3 cards. So they're not in a great spot, but we don't even have land 2. I'm going to start on this Consider, bin the Twiddle. Well, we drew a land. It's just not one that we wanted. A second copy of Lotus Field. Misty Rainforest. A third copy of Lotus Field. Okay, Reach Through Mists. We are forced to pass the turn. Maybe we'll lose to the mulligan to 3. It feels like it at this point. Mutavault. Ay. I can't believe I drew triple Lotus Field. I'm going to play Consider. If they counter this, I guess he got me. Oh, Lotus Field number 4. I'm glad I played Consider instead of Reach Through Mists. I would have been very, very upset if that had happened. No creature on the end step. That's interesting. Mutavault. They're going to animate Mutavault. So I would imagine that they have Spell Pierce here if this is their play. They animated the wrong Mutavault. Oh no. Okay, so I'm going to grab a Breeding Pool. Take a draw. Blue. Lotus Field. Sacrifice the 2 lands. We'll Splice the Reach Through Mist. Untap with Psychic Puppetry. Alright, and now we pass the turn. On their end step, I can cast Peer Through Depths and tap down their Breeding Pool. Mutavault number 3. Will they animate the right one this time? No, they will not! Oh, that's some bad beats. That is some bad beats. Make 3 blue. Peer Through Depths. I think we want the Past in Flames. Okay, our time to shine. Peer Through Depths again. Force a Negation, pitching Silvergill Adept. Okay. I will Dream Script to untap the Lotus Field. Cast Ideas untapping. Even if I fizzle here, I can convert these Lotus Fields. I might have it. So Lotus Field is 3. Psychic Puppetry is 4. Psychic Puppetry is 5 into a Past in Flames. And then from there I have Dream Script. I mean, I feel like this Past in Flames probably wins. I have 1 Psychic Puppetry left in the deck, though. I'm going to play conservatively. I don't think I need to force myself into a losing situation. Grab the Lonely Sandbar. I'll pass the turn and discard the 3 lands I don't even care about. Okay, so I could have taken that risky line. I just don't think it's worthwhile. They play another Breeding Pool. Merfolk Branchwalker. They revealed Tide Shaper. They were definitely punished by how they tapped here. I thought it was a little weird that they tapped the 2 blue lands, but they're just giving me the information that they don't have it. So now I have a pretty free win. I mean, Ideas is nice here, but I didn't actually need this. Also, I have double Psychic Puppetry. This comes up in every video that I've ever uploaded this deck. People say, Bryant, why don't you double Splice Psychic Puppetry onto your arcane spells? You don't actually get to untap the Lotus Field twice. A lot of people think that you do. There's no priority exchange between the 2 copies of Psychic Puppetry that get attached to the spell. So you can't tap, untap, tap, untap. It doesn't work that way. You only get 1 untap or 1 tap, no matter how many you splice. Untap. Play the Consider. Guess we'll keep... we'll keep it. Tap this for red. Twiddle. Cycle a Lonely Sandbar. Past in Flames. Twiddle. Tap for 3 blue. We'll Splice Psychic Puppetry onto Ideas Unbound. Untap. Another Ideas Unbound. A lot of green spells off this. Cast a Peer. We'll grab a Dream Script, I guess. So what you're seeing in front of you is actually one of the reasons I quit playing this deck for a long time, is you would cast double Ideas Unbound, and then you'd hit like 6 lands, and you'd just be like, what am I doing with myself? So when the 1 land version came out, it fixed a lot of that. So that's why I've been playing that build for a while. We'll bin this. Another Ideas. Wonderful. Big fan. Okay. Cast this Peer. And there's the Grapeshot. Firm is 15. Untap. Tap for red. Storm 17. It looks like we're getting our first match win in a very unlikely matchup. If you told me that I would have beaten Merfolk with this deck coming into the league, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Then again, I also didn't expect to lose a game to Chandra, Awakened Inferno, and Modern, so you never know. And yeah, looks like we are victorious. All right, 1-1, match 3 coming up. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we are on the play. Once again, I am asking you for land number 2. I'm actually playing one more land in this deck than I am in Lotus Breach, but Lotus Breach has Mishra's Baubles, more 1-mana spells, so maybe you can get away with one loss. But here, I'm constantly just like, if this deck doesn't draw a second land, we're going to lose. Okay, we're beginning the game. Island, pass the turn. They play a Watery Grave untapped. On their end step, we will cast Consider. Thank you. I knew I had it in me. Reach through mists. So if I can peer through depths and hit a Psychic Puppetry, we can attempt a turn 3. Shaldock Isle. Does that mean that they're on mill? Grab the breeding pool. Yes, pay 2 life. Peer through depths. And they are in fact on mill. They milled my Grapeshot, so if they have surgical, I'm dead. That is another archive trap. Visions of Beyond. Does my spell resolve? We also lose to surgical on Past in Flames. Okay, so this is a corner case matchup. Like, I'm not gonna fret about this. Like, I'm not building my decks to beat mill, a really small portion of the metagame, so that's just unfortunate. We probably do need a board A and a secondary win condition, though, so we need the save. You could board in Leyline of Sanctity, because like half the mill cards target, but then like half of them don't, so it's a little bit odd. I think I'm going to try it out. Board out the Considers. And board down 1 Sylvan Scrying. Let's try this. Game 2, on the play. Sure, we'll keep. Might be a little bit ambitious, but it's what I'm doing. Leyline enters. Flooded Strand pass. So that is not the crab that targets, that is Ruin Crab, the better of the two. And I'm going to cycle this Veil of Summer, see if I can dig a little bit deeper for Lotus Field. Another Veil. With the Leyline being in play, the Veils mean a little bit less. Another Past in Flames, awkward. We'll play Lonely Sandbar, pass the turn. Another Ruin Crab. Ay. There goes Lotus Field. So if they have a surgical, I'm dead. 6 more. There's the Grapeshot. I was already dead to a surgical anyway, so milling the Grapeshot doesn't actually matter. On their end step, we'll cast Veil of Summer. Redrew the Ave. Draw for turn. Opponent pause, so they might be setting a stop here. They did not. Fetch. Might as well grab the other breeding pool. Peer through depths. Take the Sylvan Scrying and we'll pass. Another Flooded Strand, so we're going to mill 12 here. I only have 1 Lotus Field left in my deck. If they mill it, I can't win. And that's all 4. Not my match. Maybe Visions of Beyond. Alright, I'm going to call it. We are 1 and 2. This was a tough one. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4, our opponent has began by revealing a Kahira. We'll keep because we have some interaction, which tends to be what we want against Kahira decks. They're usually Azorius control decks. And then we have Sylvan Scrying to find our Lotus Field. Veil of Summer number 4, okay. Or, I'm sorry, number 3. One thing that I wanted to address was that previous match. So I said that I don't build my decks to beat everything or beat mill. There's only so many things you can realistically try to beat without stretching yourselves too thin. And one thing that I find a lot with modern players in particular is I'll receive comments, and I'm not going to cast this Sylvan Scrying here. I want to be able to protect it with Veils. But one thing I've noticed is I'll get comments like, well, if you played one Wish, one Grapeshot or whatever, you could theoretically beat a Meddling Mage or a main deck Surgical on your Grapeshot. Sure, that is true. You could do that. But I think overall, you find that a card like Wish or a second Grapeshot or a different win condition, whatever it is, throughout the course of you playing matches, that card will not be as effective as a card that just makes your deck better. So instead of trying to beat everything, just try to achieve your highest match win percentage. And that's what I try to do. Because I think if you try to beat everything, you end up just kind of with a poor deck, in my opinion. They put Kahir to hand. We'll fetch with his Flooded Strand. That's actually been like my philosophy for the last, I don't know, handful of years, is if you try to beat everything, I think it's just like a level 1, like it's sort of like a FNM level process, in my opinion. Not that there's anything wrong with playing an FNM or whatever, but like you're just thinking too small. And that's my real point here. Fetch with the Misty, we'll grab Island. Sylvan Scrying. We have the Lotus Field. Pass the Churn. Risen Reef. So they're on elementals. I might try to cycle a Veil of Summer here. They do put a land into play. They have 6 in hand, one of which is a Kahira. I'm going to cycle a Veil. We draw another Misty Rainforest. Dream's Grip. Play Lotus Field. Sacrifice 2 lands. Reach through Mist, splicing Psychic Puppetry, untapping the Lotus Field. Okay, we drew another Psychic Puppetry. We'll do the same thing. Untap the Lotus Field, draw a card. We drew Past in Flames, pretty good one. That said, we don't actually, like I can Past in Flames into the reaches, but they don't do a whole lot. I could try to Veil of Summer here, but I don't think our opponent has multiple interaction spells, so I would just be burning a Veil. I guess if they had anything, I guess I can burn one Psychic Puppetry here as well. It ends up making mana. Play the Past in Flames. We'll draw 2. Hey, that was a good one. Okay. Another land. Not ideal. Ideas Unbound. Into 2-land Psychic Puppetry. I haven't missed this. Okay, so we can make blue, untap. I'm going to Sylvan Scrying and go get the cycle land. Lonely Sandbar. Let's cycle the Lonely Sandbar. We hit Twiddle. I can untap the Lotus Field. Burn another Psychic Puppetry. Yes. Tap for red. Flashback the Past in Flames. Twiddle the Lotus Field. Yes. Tap for green. We'll Psychic Puppetry again. This just gives me Veil back up in case I need it. I mean, our opponent's F6, I probably don't, but it's kind of free. And now we'll flashback Ideas Unbound. Come on, deck, please. Okay, I see you. Psychic Puppetry again. Reach through Mists. Untap. Another Twiddle. So we're down to just this pier. Storm is currently 18. Through Depths. Into triple Consider. So now our entire game is resting on the back of a Consider. Yes. Consider. We'll keep that. Another Consider. Okay, this is it. Believe we just lost. I went through most of my deck this game, and we didn't get there. Okay, we'll go to cleanup. How many Ideas Unbounds did I cast? The answer was 3, so I discard 9 cards. Bummer. It's pretty defeating. So do you keep the spare Twiddle, or do you keep an extra Veil of Summer? I think I'd rather have Veil backup in case I need it, so I'm going to choose to keep these 3. And what you just saw was sort of why I no longer play the land-based builds. When you play the, I'm going to call them one land Lotus or landless builds that run the modal cards, even when you fizzle, you were drawing Slundy Visions, for example, that digs 6 deep for the next payoff. Or you stack your deck using Recross the Paths, that sort of thing. I just think that these classic Arcane builds are a little too inconsistent sometimes. Our opponent's casting an Omnath. They draw a card with the Omnath, Risen Reef, Misty Rainforest. So with this land entering the battlefield, the Omnath will make 4 mana. So now they have 6 available mana. Teferi, Time Raveler. Alright, I'm going to cycle the Veil of Summer. If this is a Grapeshot, I would have been furious. Teferi happens. They minus the draw card. 7 in hand. Uladamri's Call. Okay. They grab an Endurance. So Past in Flames is not an out at the moment. We'll take 1 off the Risen Reef. Draw card. Otawara. Okay, let's cast Reach Through Mists. And we drew another Dream's Grip. Womp womp. They plus the Teferi. 3 more mana. Another Risen Reef. I feel like I really missed my shot this game. Both Anissa comes down. They look at the top 3. They find a Misty Rainforest. Alright, so they play the Misty. They sacrifice it immediately. This is going to trigger Omnath to make 4 mana once again. Now they have 7 mana. They hardcast Fury. Sure. I'm at 9. I think I'm going to save the Otawara for mana. I could bounce the Omnath here, but I'm dead next turn anyway. So I think having the 1 extra mana in case I do get super lucky would be more helpful. My best draw is likely an Ideas Unbound. They just play out the Endurance. It's kind of surprising. Sure. You got it. I'm at 1. Draw for turn. It's a Peer Through Depths. So you're saying there's a chance. Play out the Otawara. Peer. There's the Grapeshot, but I guess actually they shuffled our Cycle Land back in. So in theory, I'm not actually dead here. Realistically, I'm very dead. Alright, Sylvan Scrying. Never thought I'd cycle for the same Lonely Sandbar twice in a game. Here we are. What a wonderful league. Another Psychic Puppetry, we will concede. Bummer. I'm definitely interested in Eve in this matchup. The Uladamri's Call has me a little bit worried about Magus of the Moon, so I'm going to board in Echoing Truths. Although I wonder if Suspend would actually be better. Echoing Truth is more versatile. I think I'm going to go for versatility here. Board out 1 Past in Flames, 1 Psychic Puppetry, and I think 2 Consider. Game number 2, we're on the play. We don't have a Lotus Field, but the rest of this hand is pretty good. I'm going to try this. Misty Rainforest, pass the turn. On the opponent's end step, we will sacrifice the Misty. We grab Breeding Pool, and now we go to our turn. Another land. I could cast the Ideas here. I'm going to choose not to. The opponent, they fetch Regrin Triumph on our end step. They untap. They play Temple Garden. Now what are they doing? They put in a play tapped. Okay. Take a draw. Reach Through Mists. We'll cast it. Digging for that Lotus Field. They're going to Spell Pierce Reach Through Mists. Okay. You got me. I'm not going to Veil of Summer that. Renin 6. Sure thing. They return the Flooded Strand to their hand. They've already played a land for turn, so we know that that's still in their hand for now. You draw another Breeding Pool. Alright, I've met my limit. I'm going to cast Ideas, his bag Careful Study. We find the Lotus Field, though. Let's get rid of these pesky basic lands. Now we discard to Ideas Unbound. I guess I should cycle here. Gives me more information about what I should keep. Consider. I think I'm actually going to ditch a Veil of Summer here. They use Wrenn and 6 to return the Flooded Strand, so we know that they have 2 Flooded Strands in their hand at the moment. They play Teferi Time Raveler. That's actually one of the reasons I discarded one of the Veils. Cavern of Souls, so we know that they have double Flooded Strand in hand now. We take a draw, it's Consider. Come on. We want to find the Psychic Puppetry here. I think I keep this. Consider. Don't need you. That can go to the graveyard. Another Veil. Fortunately, I have to pass. Opponent pluses to Teferi. 4 mana. Alright, so it's Omnath. And then with Omnath, they can draw a card, and then they can play one of the Flooded Strands that we know that they have in their hand. They can play it, fetch, make 4 mana, return the Wrenn and 6, return the Flooded Strand with Wrenn and 6. Windswept Heath. They grab a basic forest. Risen Reef. Okay. They have 7 in hand. I feel like if I play the Past in Flames for value, because something I could do is I could just play Ideas Unbound and then Twiddle, and I'd have to draw another Twiddle into Past in Flames, but if I do that, I'm stuck in a weird spot because I think I lose to an Endurance, and they're elementals. They probably have a full set of Endurances. I don't think I can afford to play around counter magic, so I'm just going to play the Ideas. Another Lotus Field. Untap. Tap for red. Untap. Yes. So I could play Progenitor Ooze where I can make 5 copies. If I would have tapped for green the first time, I could have made 6 copies. But I'm not even sure if 6 wins. Let's start off with a Veil of Summer. Alright, I think I am going to Ave. I could have had one more slime in play. I don't know. It's a tough call here on whether or not you accept losing to Endurance. But I guess like I could have just tapped for green the first time and then decided I didn't need to make the red mana first. Did you leave in Solitude? They plus with a Teferi. So they played a Sacred Foundry and then another Teferi. They bounced the original Ave, so I can actually replay it. They Wrenn and 6 back their land. They put Kahir to hand. Interesting. They have 10 cards in their hand at the moment. They play Flooded Strand, which makes 4 mana. How did they play a second land this turn? Oh, they must have started out with a fetch. That's what it was. Okay. I was wondering how the Sacred Foundry came into play to start this turn, and I didn't realize that they had just fetched it into play. So they have Lightning Bolt plus Wrenn and 6 next turn. That's pretty terrifying. Take a draw. I don't think I'm supposed to attack the Wrenn. Get in there. It's 11 damage. They could just take it. I knew that was a thing that could happen. Flashback the Past in Flames. They allowed it to happen. Interesting. Twiddle. Dream's Grip. Is this really happening right now? You just have nothing in your hand? So I can take the guaranteed 4 ooze off the Ave, or I can try to Ideas Unbound. I'm going to Ideas Unbound. Wow. Okay, deck hates me. Well, Ideas Unbound again. Come on, triple Twiddle. Or absolutely nothing. I'm gonna call it. Yep, I'm gonna call it. We're not coming back from this. I have to discard. Like, we're just done. That sucked. That was just a miserable, miserable matchup. And I'm glad you got to see why I moved away from playing these builds, but there's still one more match left. Let's see if I can maybe get back 50 play points. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The fifth and final match, we're on the draw. I will keep Spire Bluff Canal into Ragavan. Lovely. Big fan. Take a draw. Veil of Summer. Okay. Steam Vents. Ragavan connects. They hit Past in Flames. I didn't want that one anyway. Ledger Shredder. They play a Bobble. Discards Bolt. Grab the island, I suppose. Could cycle a Veil there. We draw Twiddle. They get to draw off their Mishra's Bobble. We draw a Breeding Pool. I'll go to 15, try to represent strength here. They pay 2 life with the Steam Vents. They get in for 4. I'm going to go to 11. They hit a Twiddle. They likely know what I'm on by now. Yep. Let's just play the Lotus Field. Pass the turn. They cast Consider. They get in for 4. It's worth noting I would be dead to a pair of Lightning Bolt here. They hit the Lonely Sandbar with the Ragavan. Dragon's Rage Channeler. They have 4 cards. Tap for 3 green. Cast Twiddle. Let's see if they try to respond to this. They cast Counterspell. We will respond with Veil of Summer. They discard a Murktide Regent. They use 2 treasures to cast another copy of Counterspell. They have 1 card or 1 open mana. I will cast another Veil of Summer. It resolves. We hit Psychic Puppetry. That's a good start. Okay. We need now to hit an arcane spell off this Veil of Summer draw. Come on. That is not how that works. You already let the first Veil resolve. No, I'm not paying for your Spell Pierce. Draw card. Island not very good. So my Twiddle will resolve. And I believe I have to consider into exactly Peer. Because I couldn't cast an Ideas if I hit it. Cast Consider. I guess the Twiddle would actually make it so I could cast Past in Flames. Put that to the graveyard. Bummer. Bummer, 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 bummer. Alright. We want the Aves. Board out 1 Past in Flames. And the 4th Puppetry. So you'll notice I board out the 4th Puppetry a lot. It's because you really only ever want 1. Every single copy after the first is usually pretty terrible. Game number 2 on the play. I don't think I'm allowed to keep this. There's just too many things wrong with that hand. Why? This league was a nightmare. Between my poor play and this deck just not being very good, this was a bad league. Keep. Alright. A card that I wish that they would print into Modern, and I actually mean this, is I would love it if Xanadu Swarm was in this format. Consider. Bin that. Hey, we found land 2. Wonderful. Tormod's Crypt. We have Ave in our deck. I don't care about that. Besage You is a decent draw. So now if they play Blood Moon, we can blow it up. Consider. They mill a Murktide Regent. Mishra's Bobble. And they're passing the turn. I'm going to thin a land out of the deck. So maybe if I actually do get to go off this game, we're not drawing land after land after land. Interesting that they missed their second land, though. Play the field. Pass the turn. Opponent has 8 cards in hand, and it looks like they're going to clean up. Unlicensed Hearse. They hate graveyards. Alright, Psychic Puppetry was a good draw. If we could draw a Veil of Summer now, I'd feel pretty good. And they're going to clean up again. Fetch. Grab a basic. Discards Channeler. So they're strongly holding open Spell Pierce here. I guess I'll play out the Besage. I think we can probably try to go for something. Splice Ideas or Splice Psychic Puppetry onto Ideas Unbound. There we go. I can talk. I guess the card that I'd be worried about here is Flusterstorm. Mystical Dispute. I can pay for that. All right, Ideas. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to reach through Mists first. I want to be able to tap this Tormod script down at some point. This seems like a good spot to do it. 3 blue. And we got them to tap their Tormod script. Good deal. We found Grapeshot. Ideas Unbound. Okay, it's looking pretty good at this point. Grab another Twiddle. Make some mana. Untap. The Old Past in Flames. From 10. Untap. People like it when I pop out the graveyard. I don't do this when I play on my own. It drives me nuts, but the people like it, so we'll do it. Yes. Okay. Who doesn't love to draw cards? Storm is 15. Another Ideas Unbound. From 17. That means this Grapeshot is exactly lethal. Click, click, boom! Game number 3 coming up. We will just resubmit. No need to change anything here. Opponent's taking a mulligan, we will keep. This is a very, very reasonable hand. Is it possible we get 2 wins? On this channel? Come on, 2 wins, are you sure? Spirebluff Canal. The old Ragavan. Play Misty and pass. Ragavan gets in. They hit Twiddle. Well, technically Dream's Grip. Blood Moon. So now we have an interesting decision, and I think we're supposed to just get the forest here because we already have the Sylvan Scrying. We have 3 islands. Well, Scrying, and then I think you just get the Besage. If I could draw a Lotus Field, we could sneak it in underneath the Blood Moon and then blow up the Blood Moon and not have to sacrifice any lands. Ragavan gets in, we go to 13. They had a breeding pool. Unlicensed Hearse. Pass the turn. The Hearse has eaten my graveyard. They play a Misty into Channeler, sure thing. We go to 13, the Ragavan triggers. They had another copy of Dream's Grip. They only have 1 card in hand. They're going to attempt to tap my forest. I will float a green. Dream's Grip happens. And then I'm going to blow up their Blood Moon. They grab a Steam Vents off that. Sure thing. They have 1 card, as I mentioned. I mean, I think we're supposed to assume that it's a counterspell. I'm going to cast Consider on their end step. See if we can find that Lotus Field. Hey, how about that? Take a draw. Another Lotus Field. Play it. Attempt to Twiddle. Spell Pierce. So they're empty-handed now. And I can pay for this Twiddle. Yes. So my best draw, my best possible draw, and it's incredibly unlikely, because they've already exiled 2 of my Twiddle effects. But if I could Dream Script into double Twiddle here, that would be the best case scenario. Or I'm sorry, Ideas Unbound into double Twiddle. So we have another opportunity here, but we're almost in the same spot we were just in. Yes, except now I will discard my entire hand if I fizzle. Ideas Unbound. Ah, so close. Untap. If I draw another Twiddle off this, I can cast Past in Flames, but would have no mana floating. So yeah, this was just a failure. Damn. Okay. Discard. Pass. I mean, there's a slim chance that if I draw... Ooh, that's not good for me. That if I drew an untapped land or a Twiddle, we could try to win on my turn again, but that might have just put me in the dirt. They surveil the card to the top with the Channeler too. They play Otawara. Another expressive iteration. They put a card on top. Consider. They attack for 5, I'll go to 7. They're fetching with the Misty. Okay, take a draw. It is in fact an untapped land, so you're saying there's a chance. Fast in Flames? Counter target spell. Okay, well that was a Magic the Gathering League, that's for sure. Wasn't at all miserable. This is what we played today. Honestly, I could not recommend this deck to anyone. I mean, I just remembered everything that I felt in the previous year before we got to Lotus Breach. Like casting 2 Ideas Unbound into 5 lands and like a protection spell or your tutor for your Lotus Field just felt terrible. It was a fun trip down memory lane in a couple spots, but would not advise you to play this deck. If you watched all of this, I'm sorry. This was a brutal one, but I do appreciate your support. Have a great day and keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.